You've been so easy to be around, so low maintenance, so understanding, and somewhere along the way, you got so good at not needing anything that you forgot you were allowed to. Today, we're talking about the invisible one and the quiet cost of making yourself easy to overlook. Welcome back to Unapologetically in Power. I'm Jennifer Damascus. This month we're in the Masked series. We've talked about the chameleon. She's the woman who adapts so fluently she loses herself. We've talked about why affirmations don't work and how to build sovereign statements that actually land in the body. And today we're going into the mask that I think affects more women than any other. It's the invisible one. And I want to anchor this episode in Maxwell's law of influence. Maxwell teaches that the true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So my translation for this is you cannot influence from invisibility. Your wisdom doesn't count if you keep it to yourself. Your perspective does not move rooms you're hiding in. Your gifts do not change lives if nobody knows they exist. The invisible one isn't humble, she's hiding. And the world is missing what she came here to give. Let's name the wound underneath the invisible one. And I call it the visibility wound. It's that part of you that learned if I take up space, something goes wrong. If I am seen, I become a target. If I need things, I become a burden. If I shine, I make someone else feel small. And in everyday terms, it sounds like I don't want to make it about me. I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. I'm fine, really. I don't need much. Oh, I don't want to bother anybody. Someone else probably has something better to say. I'll just wait until I'm more ready. I don't want to take up too much space. I'm not that kind of person. But here's what's important. Every one of those statements sounds like consideration for others. It sounds like grace. It sounds like maturity. But underneath it is a woman who learned somewhere, sometime, that being visible came with the cost she was not willing to pay again. So she made herself small. And then she made small feel like a virtue. So I'm going to tell you something I almost did not say out loud. A little while ago, I recorded 4 podcast episodes. I sat down, I prepared, I showed up fully, I recorded them, and then I didn't upload them. Weeks went by. My husband had already edited them. They were sitting there, ready, and I kept finding reasons why not yet. The timing wasn't right. I needed to check that outro. I wanted to tweak something. But if I'm honest, underneath all of it was that invisible one doing what she does best. Creating beautifully and then hiding that creation. Showing up fully in private and disappearing in public. And here's the thing about the invisible one that makes her so difficult to catch. She doesn't feel like fear. She feels like standards. She tells you she's just waiting until it's good enough, until she's ready, until the timing is right. But what she's actually doing is protecting you from being seen before she can guarantee the outcome. And the outcome is never guaranteed. So the hiding never ends until you name it. I named it, I uploaded the episodes, and guess what? The world didn't end. Nothing caught on fire. It usually never does. I don't want to say never. So let me make this painfully practical, because the invisible one doesn't always look like hiding. She sometimes looks like the most competent person in the room. So here's how she actually shows up. She over-delivers quietly, does exceptional work, and never advocates for herself to receive credit for it. She speaks last in meetings, or not at all, even when she had the answer the whole time. She minimizes her accomplishments. Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it. She makes herself logically easy, available, flexible, accommodating, because taking up space feels dangerous. She posts content and then doesn't tell anybody about it. Creates and hides, just like I did with the episodes. She waits to be discovered rather than choosing to be known. She says, I'm not really a big deal. So many times she starts to believe it. And the cost of this mask isn't just to her. The cost is to everyone in her orbit who needed what she was hiding. Researcher and physician Gabor Mate has written extensively about what he calls the disease of self-abandonment. It's the pattern of chronic suppression that develops when children learn that their authentic expression creates conflict or disconnection. His work shows that self-suppression is not a conscious choice. It's a survival adaptation. The child who learned that her needs created problems stops expressing needs. The child who learned that her opinions created conflict stops sharing opinions. The child who learned that her presence was too much makes her presence smaller. And that adaptation, the brilliance in the original context, follows her into adulthood. It follows her into boardrooms, into her relationships, into podcasts she records and doesn't upload, into books she writes and doesn't publish, into gifts she carries quietly to her grave. Mate's research is clear on one thing. The suppression doesn't just affect mental health, it affects physical health. The body keeps score of everything you swallow. Invisibility is not neutral. It has a cost. So let's go back to the law of influence. The true measure of leadership is influence. That's the Maxwell law. Here's what I want you to sit with on this. Every time you make yourself invisible, every time you shrink, hide, wait, minimize, disappear, you are choosing to have less influence. Not because you're less capable, because you're less present. And the women who need you cannot find you when you're hiding. The client who needed exactly what you know, she went somewhere else because she didn't know you existed. That room that needed your perspective, it made a worse decision because you stayed quiet. The woman in your audience who needed to hear your story, she's still waiting. Visibility is not vanity. Visibility is responsibility. You are given gifts that are not yours to keep. So let's do an invisible audit. The first step, name where you've been hiding. One sentence, clean. I've been making myself invisible by some examples. Not sharing my work after I create it. Staying quiet in rooms where I know the answer. Minimizing what I've built when people ask about it. Waiting until it's perfect before I let anyone see it. Again, this is a judgment-free zone. This is just the truth. We're collecting data. The next step is name what it's been costing. So finish the sentence. My invisibility has been costing me, and then whatever it's been costing. But then finish this sentence. My invisibility has been costing the people I'm meant to serve what? The second question is the one that truly matters. Because the invisible one can talk herself out of her own needs. She cannot as easily talk herself out of people. She cannot as easily talk herself out of failing the people who need her. So choose one visible action this week. Again, not a reinvention. One step, one post you share without waiting for it to be perfect, one opinion you offer in the meeting without apologizing first, one piece of work you put into the world before you feel ready. One moment where you let yourself be seen. That's the practice. Visibility is a muscle, and you build it one rep at a time. The invisible one didn't disappear because she had nothing to offer. She disappeared because somewhere along the way, she learned that offering it came with a cost and decided the cost was too much. But here's what I need you to hear. The cost of staying invisible is higher. It costs you your influence. It costs you your impact. It costs you the version of your life that was supposed to happen when you finally showed up fully. This week, find one place you've been hiding. Take one step into visibility. Not a perfect step, a real one. And the next episode, we're going to go into the deepest one yet. It's the woman underneath the title. Who you are when you're not being useful. When you strip away the role, the responsibility, the function, who's actually there? And if that question makes you uncomfortable, tune in for that episode because it's for you. If this episode names something you've been living, the first step isn't another podcast episode, though I truly appreciate you being here. The first step is knowing which mask has been running the show for you. I invite you to take the Identity Mask Quiz. I'll link it in the show notes and find out which of the 7 masks is costing you the most in your life right now. Thank you for being here with me on this episode, and I'll see you next week right here on Unapologetically in Power.